Now listen to the dialogue between Akuya and myself. Akuya, ifiri piu ha ko post office worry ana?
Debbie and worry cry. Se upia fa benkum so. Ko wenim te kosi Backman Drive ene University Avenue in Quantanan. Se wudru ho a twakwan mu. Ubehu the swamp wo ho. Ko wenim kakra. Post office no wo wenifa so.
Medase. Now listen carefully as Akuya says these phrases in Akan and I provide the English translation.
Akuya, free pew hall, call post office, worry ana.
Akuya, from the pew hall to the post office, is it far?
Debbie and worry cry.
No, it is not far at all.
Se upia fa ubenkum so.
When you exit, take left.
Ko wenim te kosi Backman Drive ne University Avenue in Quantanan.
Go straight until you get to Buckman and University Avenue intersection.
Se wudru ho a twakwan mu.
When you arrive there, cross the road.
Ubehu the swamp wo ho.
You will see the swamp located there.
Ko wenim kakra.
Go forward a little.
Post office no wo wonifa so.
The post office is located on your right.
Medase.
Thank you. Now listen carefully as Akuya says these phrases in Akan and we repeat after her.
Akuya, every pew hall, call post office, worry ana.
Akuya, every pew hall called post office worry ana.
Debbie and worry cry.
Debbie and worry cry.
Se upia fa ubenkum so.
Se wupoya fa wo benkumso.
Ko wenim te kosi Backman Drive.
Ko wanim te kosi Buckman Drive.
Ne University Avenue in Quantanan.
Ne University Avenue in Quantanan.
Se wudru ho a twakwan mu.
Se wudur hoa twa kwan no mu.
Wobehu the swamp wo ho.
Wobehu the swamp wo ho.
Ko wenim kakra.
Ko wanim kakra.
Post office no wo wonifa so.
Post office no wo wonifa so.
Medase.
Medase. In the dialogue, I asked Akuya whether the post office was far from Pew Hall. I said,
every pew hall, call post office, worry ana.
Ifiri Pew Hall, call post office means from Pew Hall to the post office. We can use this expression to find out if the distance from one place to another is far. For instance, if I wanted to know whether the distance from Gainesville to Jacksonville is far, I would ask,
every Jacksonville, call Gainesville, worry ana.
Note that this is purely a question about distance. It does not require a description of how to get from Gainesville to Jacksonville. Still, when I posed the question to Akuya about the post office, she decided to give me the directions to the post office. She said,
Se upia fa benkum so.
which means when you exit, take left. Fa benkumso means take left, and fa nifaso means take right. These are important expressions which you need in order to give directions. There is also kowaninte, which means go straight ahead. Note, we also have kowachi, which means go back. This will be used if you're asking someone driving a vehicle to go back. Akuya said kowaninte because there's a small distance between Pew to the intersection. Then she told me that once I get there, that I should cross the road. First, she said, "Se wudurwa." We learned in earlier lessons that se a means when. You cannot give directions without using this expression, so don't forget it. Note, se wudurwa. So remember this phrase, it's very important. But I'd like you to note something, that some people, instead of saying woduru, they say wodu. So this is optional. You can say wodu to mean the same thing. In Akan, this
Tra kwan numu.
means cross the road. This is why Akuya says,
Se wudru hwa tra kwan numu.
that means when you get there, cross the road. Akuya decides to mention one important landmark I will see on my way. She said,
Wubehu the swamp woho.
which means you will see the swamp there. The post office is to the right, and so Akuya said,
Office no wo nifa so.
this means the post office is on your right. Note that Akuya could have said simply,
Post office no wo nifa so.
which means the post office is on the right. In other words, you can say that it is on the right, not necessarily that it is on your right. Those are the two differences between those two different statements. This direction is so simple with very few turns. Some directions involve more turns at various places. If, for instance, there is the requirement that you turn right at the intersection, you'd say,
Se wudru nkwantanan no so a fa nifa so.
this means when you get to the four-way intersection, turn right. Also, the intersection could be simply a two-way intersection. In that case, we use encuentra instead of encuentranan. Consider the following example, which involves moving from the chemistry department to the School of Architecture. Here's a dialogue between Akuya and I. Also, the intersection could be simply a two-way intersection. In that case, we use encuentra instead of encuentranan. Consider the following example, which involves moving from the chemistry department to the School of Architecture. Here's a dialogue between Akuya and I. Akuya, tu me quite free chemistry department ko School of Architecture?
Se pupua fa benkum so. Ko wenim kakra kosi Union Road nkwanta. Se wudru ho a fa wo benkum so. Sanko wenim kakra kosi Newell Drive nkwanta. Se wudru ho a fa nifa so. Ko wenim kakra kosi Inner Road nkwanta. Nefa benkum so. Se wuko wenim kakra wubehu School of Architecture wo wunifa so. Eye edana etoso mienu wo nifa so.
Now listen carefully as Akuya says these phrases and the sentences in Akan, and I provide the English translation.
Akuya Treme Kwan Free Chemistry Department called School of Architecture.
Akuya, show me the road from chemistry department to the School of Architecture.
Se wupua fa benkum so.
When you exit, take a left.
Ko wenim kakra kosi Union Road nkwanta.
Go forward a little till you get to the Union Road intersection.
Se wudru ho a fa benkum so.
When you get there, take your left.
Sanko wenim kakra kosi Newell Drive in Kwanta.
Go straight forward a little until you get to the Newell Drive intersection.
Se wudru hwa fa nifa so.
When you arrive there, take a right.
Ko wenim kakra kosi Inner Road in Kwanta. Nafa benkum so.
Go forward a little till you get to Inner Road intersection and take a left.
Se wuko wenim kakra wubehu School of Architecture wo nifa so.
When you go forward a little, you will see the School of Architecture on your right.
Eye edana etoso mienu wo nifa so.
It is the second building that is on your right. Now listen carefully as Akuya says these phrases in Akan and we repeat after her.
Akuya Tremekwen Free Chemistry Department called School of Architecture.
Okuya Chiremi Kwine Fury Chemistry Department called School of Architecture.
Se upria fa benkum so.
Se wupoe a fa ben kumso.
Ko wenim kakra kosi Union Road in Kwanta.
Ko wanim kakra kosi Union Road in Kwanta.
Se wudru hwa fa wo benkum so.
Se wuduro hua fa wo ben kumso.
Sanko wenim kakra kosi Newell Drive in Kwanta.
Sem ko wanim kakra kosi Newell Drive in Kwanta.
Se wudru hwa fa nifa so.
Se wuduro hua fa nifaso.
Ko wenim kakra kosi Inner Road in Kwanta.
Ko wanim kakra kosi Inner Road in Kwanta.
Nafa benkum so.
Nafa ben kumso.
Se wuko wenim kakra
Se woko wanim kakra
wubehu School of Architecture wo nifa so.
wo beho School of Architecture wo nifaso.
Eye edana etoso mienu wo nifa so.
Eye eden a etoso mieno wo nifaso. I began the dialogue by asking Akuya to show me the directions from the chemistry department to the architecture school. I said, Chiremekwain, which literally means show me the way or show me the road. One new expression here is Sanko wanim kakra, which means go forward a bit again. Sang here means again. However, as we learned earlier, unlike again in English, sang occurs before the verb. Thus, sang bra means come again, and sang da means sleep again or go back to sleep. Note also that Akuya said,
Ko wenim kakra kosi Inner Road nafa benkum so.
This means go forward a little till Union Road intersection and then take the left. Now what happens if there are several buildings in the place? Then you want to say it is the first, second, third, etc. on the right or the left. In the case of the building Akuya described, it is the second on the right. So Akuya says,
Eye edan a etoso mienu wo nifa so.
do you remember your expressions for that is the first, that is the second, etc.? Here are the reminders. In the sentence construction, we will put blank, it's blank, a edikain, or blank, a etoso miensa. I could say fie a edikain, which is the first house, or I could say, for example, fie a etoso miensa, which is the third house. So remember, when you're giving specific directions and you want to give a location in an order of buildings, these two different ways to say